Republican General Assembly. I always say the first avowed socialist. Because we know that probably somebody had deep in their heart the idea that we should orient our political economy toward the needs of the many, not the few, but they weren't willing to call themselves socialists. We never hit our rows though. We are socialists, we are democratic socialists, and we won this seat. So, I want to start off by saying, look, they always say that victory has 1,000 fathers and defeat is an orphan, but nobody took it harder when we came short in 2022 than J.P. Leninger. He took it very, very hard, and no one worked harder to make this victory possible. So this is for you, J.P. I also want to thank everyone, our intrepid staff, from Alex, who really bothered people every single week to come out, to knock those doors, to do whatever it takes. Allison, your comms work is always brilliant. Wesley's videos getting hundreds of thousands of views in this point. Joshua, labor liaison work. Who else I got? Piper, man. Piper, that beautiful art. Richard, our amazing treasurer, keeping us out of jail. We love that. We love not being in jail. And everyone else, Nick, helping with the finances. And obviously, I can't say enough about Greta Smith and the support that she has provided to me every single step of the way. It's all of us. To my kids, Luca, Julian, Edie. Yeah. She's still here. Everybody who knocked the door, everybody who donated money, my dad, our fantastic cheerleader, donor, etc. I really just am really grateful to everyone who did the work that we needed to do to get here. Liz, oh my God, well, I wasn't bringing it. But what I was gonna say about Liz is this. Okay, Liz Everhart. I want everyone to know that name. Because people don't see the work that goes into our field. You know, when they talk about, oh, DSA was able to do this, they're gonna say, oh, it's their ground game, their ground game. Our ground game has an architect, and her name is Liz Everhart. And here's the thing. When they talk about what happened here, our opponents are going to have a lot of excuses, because like I said, victory has 1,000 fathers, etc., etc. They're going to be passing blame to this person, this consultant, that consultant. They're going to say, oh, it was the fact that his grandmother, by the way, Maddie Jones, give it up to Maddie Jones. It was because of his grandmother, if not for his grandmother, this. My grandmother is amazing. She taught me so much about how to organize, how to speak truth to power, and I'll take those lessons with me for the rest of my life. And I think they did get me here. But Bernie Sanders didn't endorse me because Maddie Jones is my grandmother. You all aren't here because Maddie Jones is my grandmother. You guys are here because you believe in the work that we're doing. You believe in me, perhaps as a candidate. You believe in the Democratic Socialists of America. So when they're passing blame, and they're blaming this consultant, that consultant, this mailer wasn't good enough, we didn't send this text at the right time, they didn't have the right digital. don't listen to them. Because the reality is this. They got their asses kicked by the Democratic Socialists of America, and they're gonna get their asses kicked again in the fall. Because what do we have? We had an army, better yet a navy, for the Cash Money Kings up there. An army of volunteers who came out and supported this campaign every step of the way, and they don't have those people. You find me somebody else who believes in this work and is willing to do it, riding the bus to get there, like Bill is. Are you telling me does the other team have that? The other team doesn't have a Bill, they don't have a Leah, they don't have a Doug, they don't have a Nick, they don't have a Wesley, they don't have an Alex, they don't have an Allison, they don't have a Liz. I can name all you guys. They don't have a Bailey, they don't have a Sean, they don't have a Jessica, they don't have a JP Liniger, and they sure as hell don't have me. And that's why they push so hard in this race. It's all about, look, this is a blue district. It was always going to be somebody, it was never going to be a Republican who's going to win this race. So why did the establishment push so hard in this race? Why did the establishment work so hard to write me out of a district in 2022? Why did the establishment work so hard to get us out of power? Because they know that the rubber stamp for the administration, the rubber stamp for the establishment, the rubber stamp for capital does not pass to District 43 anymore. So what are we gonna do, y'all? First off, as I say all the time, I'm gonna take tomorrow, I'm not gonna take tomorrow off actually, I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna see my kids and they're gonna be very happy because they've been following this race. I'm gonna see my kids at school, I guess. But I'm not gonna knock any doors tomorrow. I'm not going to do any DSA work. I'm gonna chill. But I think May 21st might be up there knocking doors for Andrea Park. We don't know yet, but I'll hopefully be knocking doors for April Hearn, and I'll be knocking doors for Shanika Parrish Wright. Because this work doesn't stop. And when we get to Frankfort next year, we're going to start off big. We have our fantastic co-endorsers, people who are fantastic. The progressives, the left wing of the Kentucky State House who stood by me, Nima Kulkarni, Lisa Wilmer, Mary Lou Marzian. We are building something in Frankfort. And one thing that I want to talk about from day one till as long as I'm there is that we need to bring back progressive taxation. And there's a few ways to do it. I'm not going to bore you with the mechanics, but here's what we need to do is we need to get a way, find a way through the legislative process, through the ballot, to tax the rich.